Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Ohad Shakir with us today. He's founder of ThinkUp and Thinks, co-founder and chairman that company in Tel Aviv and Israel and Switzerland. Spends his time between both. He's also a private investor in a bunch of companies. I would describe him as a serial entrepreneur. Ran a family office with multiple early stage and later stage investments, so major shareholder at 888.com. So interesting guy altogether. And I see neurotech here as well, so we're definitely going to talk about that today. Ohad, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Charles, for inviting. So I've been over 20 years, an investor, mainly early stage in tech startups. And I've been running a couple of startups of my own for the last 8 years. One is in the smart cities and smart transportation domain. And ThinkUp is all for other entrepreneurs, help them through their tough journey.
And how do you do that precisely? How do you help these entrepreneurs? Because there's so many incubators, accelerators, VC mentors out there, programs. So what do you do different here?
Yeah. So we're using a SaaS platform. It's not a professional service. It's not a physical meetings between a mentor and a mentee. We've mapped the startup journey, the ideation phase. We split the journey into around 10 steps or 10 modules that the entrepreneur has to go through. And each module has around 10 to 20 tasks or questions that the user has to accomplish. And then step by step, they create deliverables, outputs. They map their personas. They gather interviews. They create the market analysis and their competitive analysis. You know, all the usual assets, the tangibles that we're all familiar with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how do you pick your founders? What are criteria for you to either onboard the founder and also the idea that they're working on?
I'm not sure. Can you repeat that?
Yes. How do you pick your founders and the companies that they're running? What are your criteria to have them into the platform and the program?
Okay, so basically, our ICP are very, very early stage founders, pre-MVP, pre-revenue, and usually they are first timers. They are less experienced, and we're focused on the US market. So basically, you know, the platform is open for everyone, but we're targeting mainly US very early stage, first timer entrepreneurs, mainly SaaS. It's also good for hardware but you know, SaaS is our sweet spot, software entrepreneurs.
Okay, and the platform is free to use. How do you decide which one you're funding?
They have to go through all the steps, all the modules, customer discovery, market overview, customer insights, competitive analysis, go-to-market strategy. They have to go through all the steps, all the modules, complete them successfully. All the data and the answers they put in has to make sense for us. The market has to be big enough. The personas that are mapping has to be clear. Their pains, their needs has to be validated. They have to go through 10, 20, 30 interviews with potential customers. And, you know, their financial need to make sense. Their go-to-market strategy need to make sense. So, you know, lots of aspects that has to come together.
And why would they pick you and not go through Antler or Techstar or YC, for example?
Well, you know, for YC, first of all, they are later stage. Okay, all of those accelerators expect you to come up with some MVP, maybe some initial revenues. We don't. we want them at the earliest stage possible, the minute they have their idea. Second of all, YC, they get 30,000 applications, but they only receive 1%, say 300 every year. What about all the 29,000 others that are not accepted? So we let everyone in. Plus, in YC, once you're accepted, you have to wait a month or two. The program starts, 2 months ahead. You have to maybe relocate yourself for 3 to 6 months. You have a fixed program once a week. But, when you have a SaaS platform, everyone's invited, and it's in your own pace, from your own workspace, your own home, wherever you want it. You want to be in a coffee shop. So that's the beauty of having a digital accelerator rather than your standard physical.
Right. Yeah, the experience looks pretty nice. The UX is pretty clean as well. So let's say that I complete all my startup information, right? I put my competitors, my unique selling proposition, and all of that. What happens next? Do I get paired with a mentor? Is that you? And at what step am I getting funding? At what step am I eligible?
Yeah, well, me and my team, we're about 10 to 15 people. Me and my investment readiness managers and my product managers, we're all here for the entrepreneurs as mentors. We can meet them, in every step of the way, from onboarding through each and every step of the way. We're available all the time. And, once you've completed all of the steps, we're going to have an investment committee. We're going to review your pitch deck, ask you some questions, make sure everything is aligned, everything's in place. The roadmap is clear for the company. And then we, the usual, the terms, the agreements, the safe, and we can complete an investment.
And what success stories do you have out of this? Like, for example, this company, they got set up in a couple of hours, started their go-to-market efforts, and a couple of weeks or months, you funded them, gone through Series A. Maybe after that, what success stories do you have with founders using your platform?
Well, we're relatively, early in that stage of our life. So at the moment, we're still, mentoring startups. It's a bit too soon, too early. I'm sorry, too early to say that we've got any, very big success stories. It's still in the micro success stories. People that are getting ahead, making progress very fast within the ideation phase. Sometimes they understand they need to pivot because they realize that they don't have enough validation for their idea. But hopefully, within by the end of the year, we're going to have some nice success stories, some investments that we've done, and something we can show.
The platform gives them a nice base, a nice structure from where to scale, because learning all of these questions that you're asking them and this structure, this methodology might take a founder 3, 4, 5 years, and that's if they survive the founder world, right?
Exactly. There's so much to know. There's so much.
Right. Tell me a bit more about the AI aspect of the platform. Like, where does that kick in? What model are you using? Is it like a GPT wrapper, or what is it?
Yeah, so in almost every item and every step, we gather all of the information, all of the relevant information that we know about the user and his or her journey, and we reach out to the various models. Well, it could be the ChatGPT, could be Gemini or Claude. Depends on the specific task. And we then present to the user some suggestions for that specific item. If it's who could be his potential competitors, go-to-market strategies, who is the decision maker, the potential decision maker type for his solution, market reports, in almost every aspect.
And there's various stage, I guess, right? At the discovery stage, maybe like who their competitors would be, who a potential value prop would
Yeah,
be for them. Maybe also like at the funding level, right? Like who they should go after, who they should outreach to get funding, and yeah, maybe pretty soon a cold email
absolutely.
template to get their first customers, right? Like which is ultimately what I do with my clients now. This platform is new since 2020, right? Like you've been an investor since the 2000s, so like literally an OG. What kind of investment did you had personally that were successful throughout your career?
Well, I've done, first of all, we've had 888 that was founded by my family, and I used to oversee it for around 10 years. That was a very successful company. It was listed on the London Stock Exchange. Then we were involved in drones company, highly sophisticated drones, and there was also all sorts of solar energy companies, some pharmaceutical, anti-cancer treatments. That is now a company called Alpha Tau that now has a very unique and disruptive treatment for cancer. It's also listed in the Nasdaq. And there was Coralogics, which was handling log details, and data loop, AI infrastructure software, helping people with annotation and managing their entire AI stack. So lots of things to tell. Too many.
Right. And you've also been building from Israel, right? Which is Startup Nation, which also has been going through pretty fluctuous and hard times as of late. So, what have you seen in your native Israel startups and founders there? Have they got just more resilient, over executing nowadays, or has the war sort of affected the output?
Yeah, I think it has affected the output, but people has to show up, and they have to jingle between a few tasks, and some people are have to go away. Some reserve duty people have to take their place. People have to share the load, and every day you cope with new challenges, and you just need to find new solutions. It's not easy. It's very hard, but you have to be creative, and that's what we're trying to do.
And what skills specifically are you looking for in founders? Because I believe Israel founders being one of the best type in the world. They're very gritty, they're smart, they're educated, they're tech first, right? That would be like probably my top three or out of five skills that I'm looking for in founders. What are you looking for in terms of skills?
In the terms of in the stage of pre-seed, people have to be very curious, and they have to be good listeners.
So
Okay.
low ego, like almost no ego.
Oh, exactly. You want
But
to
we
reach.
want ambition too, right? We want like some type of ego, but no type of that other type of
Exactly. That's
ego.
exactly. Lots of ambition, but less ego. If you want to reach product market fit, you have to be a good product manager initially. And being a good product manager is listening to your customers. Okay, asking the right question, listening, focusing on them, on their problems. That I think is the most important aspect, and it's
Yeah,
difficult.
being a great investigator also, because it's not because someone tell you something that this is what they really think, right? Like there
Exactly.
needs to be layers of IQ and emotional cognition in there, so that you can really identify what is their core problem. Obviously, there's statistics in there, like you need to interview way more than one person, and that person shouldn't be your mom, right? So there should be some objectivity there, and yeah, it's quite hard
Absolutely.
to ask the right questions at the right times. Just like this podcast, right? Like there's a way, there's a methodology for the questions that I ask. Gaining trust at first, like lowball questions, and then going deeper and deeper as soon as you have the trust, and then yeah, maybe feeding all that data, that input to an AI, so that the AI can make sense out of it, and I can sort of outsource my human subjectivity to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we do in our product as well. We help you in the customer research process. We help you create the script, the interview script, and we help you find potential customers to interview. And you can upload the interview, and the AI will analyze it and give you hopefully objective reassurance and validations.
Right. And nowadays, what are your goals with the company? How many companies do you want to invest in this year? How many 100K checks you want to scratch this year? And any other goals that you have for yourself this year?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we would like to invest around once every month. This is our target. And we're right now focusing on transforming from freemiums to paid customers. And our goal is mainly to reach 100 new customers every month by the end of the year. This is the main goal at the moment. And maybe
Right.
one success story by the end of the year, one big success story.
Let's hope for that. You sponsors one of the first neurotech accelerator, right? So you're passionate about the brain itself. Tell me a bit more about that, and yeah, if you're still sort of invested into the neurotech world, which is fascinating.
Yeah, well, about 10 years ago, I was looking for my next challenge, and I was aiming very high. I was looking for the most complex thing, which is the brain. It's much harder than creating just another, productivity tool or an algorithm. The brain is something we haven't figured out yet. So the best way was to start with an accelerator or an incubator program. But I realized, it was a bit too soon for me. I need to do some, cross some other milestones before, create something which was easier before. So I went back to SaaS companies. But I will return to neurotech one day. That's the big passion. Yeah.
Do you feel we'll have Neuralink deployed in 10 years from now and be able to communicate telepathically and run agents with their brains one day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
What are the incumbents to that? Isn't it like a regulation, compliance? Do most humans not want to have that world? We're already seeing them like resisting to AI, right? Like what would be the incumbent to
Yeah.
humanity adopting these things? Or would it just be a couple of billionaires having access to these devices at first?
Yeah, I think exactly everything you mentioned. It's first of all about the regulation, FDA approvals, the safety of these things. And I think we're going to start with, disease, dementia first, Parkinson, depression,
Epilepsy.
epilepsy, things like that. And, maybe we'll leave it for Musk to transplant chips in the brain. That's the more technology oriented, connection to AI and computers, brain machine interface.
Yeah, I think Musk is the last guy I'd wanted my brain. But yeah, if I would have like a severe brain focus disease, I would want. I mean, I'd be desperate, right, to get one of these things. So yeah, that's quite fascinating. And what about AI? I mean, you're pretty deep into AI as well. You're pretty fascinated and interested by oncology, right? Like fixing cancer. Have you seen AI on the verge of fixing cancers with all these in silico companies nowadays?
Well, yeah, I think the company invested in is more, it's been created, I think, 10 years ago before the Gen AI. So I'm not sure how much AI they are using there. And, I'm hoping, yeah, that AI can relieve us from cancer and create new drugs, new development that haven't been possible before. This is the best and the biggest promise. But I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with all the innovation within AI and cancer at the moment. But I'm very curious to see them in action.
Yeah, AlphaFold, I think, was a gigantic game changer deployed by DeepMind a couple of years ago. So that created a whole revolution, right? Like most people, I mean, some of them use ChatGPT, so they're conscious of that revolution that's happening. But a real revolution that happened in biotech about 5 years ago was when DeepMind deployed AlphaFold. I mean, it used to take what like 3 years and a couple of billions to discover like a new a chain, a new drug, a new chain of protein, for example. And then now with AlphaFold, it literally takes a couple of days, just totally
Yeah,
insane. And yeah, I think at the cancer level, it's detection, right? Like we know that AIs are doing a way better job than human eyes and brains
yeah,
to detect cancer and to flag that yeah, this is happening. I think it was a week ago. I had a guy that's been fighting cancer for 13 years, very successful guy, an early Facebook guy. And yeah, we were talking about that, and yet it's a glimmer of hope right now. So we
yeah.
live in great times, but also scary times, right? Like a bunch of people are scared of AI. I do think it's going to chop off a bunch of jobs. So what are your predictions when it comes to AI, AGI, and the potential effect that it would have on the workplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I think on one hand, it's great. We've got such a powerful tool in our hand. We can do so many stuff that we haven't been able to do before. My platform couldn't have taken off without generative AI. On the other end, it's happening so fast. Changes are so fast, and we find it hard a bit, to keep up with all the new tools and all the new changes. And we're at the forefront. We're reading about it every day, and think about the people that are not aware, people that are not used to tech. They're going to be left behind. And 10 years from now, yeah, it could cause big changes and maybe some big problems for a lot of people. And there has to be some government regulation about how to tackle this. Maybe people will have more free time, less disease. Maybe it's going to be for the best. But as every new technology, there are some pros and cons. There are always some issues. So we need to handle the bad side of it and be
Right.
prepared.
I think like countries like Israel would somewhat easily adapt, right? Because I mean, Israel is such a special country. Everyone goes in the military, for example, which is like just one reason why I think most Israelis are quite resilient and so forth. And yeah, I mean, Israel is a resilient country. Truth, it's actually creation, right? Like it's people that have been displaced from their original countries, right? So it's a very
Yeah,
strong community. But if you look at other countries like, I don't know, Canada or US, we have a lot of people there that just depend on the government straight up, and
yeah,
it will be difficult to see an outcome for these people that are used
yeah.
to sort of not working, depending on government social checks and so forth. So I think it will wreck the good part of the social fabric in these countries. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Ohad, where can people find out more about you?
ThinkUp.global, www.thinkup.global. That's our website. They can find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there. And soon we're going to probably have a community of early stage entrepreneurs. So, people will be able to contact me through that. Yeah, I think that's about it.
So that was Ohad